Alright, welcome everybody. Victoria 3 has finally launched. So let's get into this. We're going to play as Tunis. And, yeah, it's probably not a very good idea. I don't have really any experience in Victoria 2 to leapfrog off of. I played that game for a very short amount of time years ago, and it was way too confusing for me. So obviously, the correct decision is to choose a small country that is very impoverished and try to build off of that. So that's what we'll do. I actually did I went for like 30 minutes in this game. I had recorded a video, I'm not going to upload it, but I tried to take out Algeria and Spain joined the war and absolutely crushed me, and it was quite annoying. So I think we'll just try to build up the economy. And I don't know how we're even going to deal with warfare if we have large European powers getting involved in the Maghreb. But we'll figure it out in due time. I think what we first want to do is we'll go cotton plantation for our textile mill. And we will start improving relations with Falls. And maybe we could declare on Algeria if we improve relations with Spain. But then the worry is Great Britain could join us. Like we'd have to devote so much resources to keeping each one of them happy. I don't think it's worth it. Let's improve relations with the Ottoman as well. What we could try is maybe attacking Libya and seeing, or Tripolitania here, and seeing if the Ottoman joins. No, the Ottomans will join no matter what, because as long like we're a protectorate of the Ottomans currently, and it doesn't seem to sway the Ottomans in giving up their puppet, because Tripolitania is a puppet state. I was trying to go after Algeria because they have no political treaties with anybody, but I guess that's just not in the cards. So we'll do a little bit of cotton here. We'll increase our textile mill, and we'll probably speed 5 this. We'll do a little bit of budget manipulation. We want to do some consumption taxes on the haram of alcohol. So wine and liquor, we will consumption tax that. We will also add the Sudi Ulema to our government. I kind of want to play this a more nationalistic style, especially if we're going to be a small African nation against the Europeans. I want people to take pride in their independence, I guess you could say. Let's go down, I think it was egalitarianism here, because we want labor movement, because the law we're trying to pass is schools. Look at our literacy, awful. So, without further ado, let's get this game unpaused. And there doesn't seem to be too much else we can do. We'll just see what happens. We're gaining a lot of money right now. That's what we're going to strive towards doing. We're going to try to keep ourselves out of debt and create a booming economy. I think even we could just completely neglect stuff like barracks, because we're not going to be able to conquer anything with the European involvement the way it is. Although it should be noted how important Algeria is to conquer because of their iron mines. Here in Tunisia, all we have is sulfur and lead, which I assume sulfur can be used in munition plants, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It doesn't show here. It does not show here what it takes. Goods consumed, explosives, and lead. Okay, so how did you make explosives? Maybe the arms industry creates explosives? The arms industry just creates small arms at the cost of iron and hardwood. Maybe it's synthetic plants. Sulfur and fertilizer creates dye. Maybe it's this? Oops. Military aviation, war machines industries. Maybe actually, let's go back to munitions and see how it's created. Maybe it's up in here. An explosive is produced in a chemical plant, which takes sulfur and iron to produce fertilizer. But I assume you would. There's a way to change that, because I know in the buildings, right? Like we can go here and we can say instead of making non-luxury clothes, we can go craftsman sewing, elastics, etc. Right? A dye workshop or whatever. So I'm thinking we probably. What did it say? It was chemical plants. So we need intensive agriculture. Okay. So how about we go on research and see where that's going to be. It's right here. So after we complete egalitarianism and then labor movement, we can go to that. We obviously have a lot of stuff to construct in the meantime anyways, so we can just focus on that. We'll get a construction sector up, and we'll get a cotton plantation up as well. I think we also probably want a food industry before we go chemical plant. So we'll go food industry, chemical plant, and then it's munition plant, I believe, is what we want to do. And maybe we can fund European wars via producing explosives and stuff like that. Because for now, I don't really think we have too much of a prospect of conquering our neighbors. I don't think it's going to happen. The only thing I could see is if the Ottomans get in some serious trouble, maybe we could take over Tripolitania, which is probably our best bet. They're very low on the Maghrebi population, but that's fine. They're of the same religion, which is good. Losing power rank. Become an unrecognized... Are we not an unrecognized power? Unrecognized regional power. Let's go. We are increasing our GDP by quite a bit. We started with 630, I believe. So we're doing pretty well. We are not constructing anything, so let's go do that. Question is, what should we construct? Right now here we are utilizing 80 fabric, and we are... Wrong industry. We are producing 80. So that should be fine. Maybe what we would want to get involved in is a little bit of food industry. Start producing some food. And then I suppose while we wait for our chemical manufacturing, our chemical plant, is we could start investing in the sulfur and lead mines. And now we're losing money. About 1.8 thousand of that is from constructing them. So. Mandatory service, cotton gin. So cotton gin is going to improve our cotton plant production up to 100 currently, which means that we could maybe increase the level of this. What we would probably want to do though is See if we can do a export route. The Danes would love to buy it. Sicilians are right next door though, so maybe that's makes a little bit more sense for us than sending it off to the Danes. Let's go Sicilians. Let's see if we can't sell a bit of our clothes that we're manufacturing. I think we're going to need to import some clippers as well to export. So let's go ahead and do that. Right down here, we got some clippers. Let's do a new import route. And let's grab it from the French. French, who we are improving relations with currently. Obviously, the French are the biggest fear right now, because the French definitely want this. Question is, are they going to take it? So we're not building anything currently. Let's we've got loads of money in the bank, so we may as well keep building as long as we can. These guys are utilizing 44s. I think it's probably because they're so understaffed currently. So maybe what we want to build is another wheat farm. Get the food up. Hopefully that'll increase our standard of living or something like that. We've got an event, the gamble. How bad could it be? 50-50 chance on gambling success. Or Jamal gains negative 25 popularity. I suppose we'll gamble. Everybody loves a little bit of gambling. Let the ulema reap the rewards. We don't really need authority currently. We've only got one state to maintain, so we don't need too much authority. What I'm wondering is why it's so hard for them to find employment. Is it because the business is not profitable, or some other reason? Because I'm sure I'm doing a lot of things unoptimally. But I don't know how it would make them more optimal. Because these two businesses are just not doing too well. I think while we have the money, maybe we should spend it on sulfur mines or lead mines, as we know we're going to need those in the near future. So let's do that. Spend the money on building those. Let's see our technology here. So we got egalitarianism going, and then labor. And then we're going to go intensive agriculture. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. For the chemical plant. Crop failure. Oh, I didn't even get to click on it. Speed 5. I'm used to, I've been playing a lot of CK3 on my channel, if you haven't checked it out. And it auto-pauses when you get an event like this. So I'm not used to mashing that space bar like you do, you know? Hunger relief. Decree cost, a 50% mortality rate. Okay, we should accept the donations from France. I think we want to accept the donations from France. Is this a historical event that happened in North Africa, this famine? Or is this just a randomly caused? I don't know. But we're about to get our sulfur mines up and then our lead, so I don't think they'll make too much money. I don't think there's very much demand for sulfur or lead. But we can create our own demand, of course. Our two buildings are doing just god-awful right now. And obviously the food industry doing awful makes sense, right? Because if we look at our wheat farms, we're producing, like, no food. So hopefully the Great Hunger... Wait for the famine to expire or raise the standard of living in your nation by 3 points. Yeah, you should resign in shame, Min. Famine happened during your rule. Come on. Oh, we need tools as well to work these mines. So I suppose we may as well just import the tools. I don't think we're going to create a tool manufacturing simply... Oof. I guess we'll import them from the French. And the lathe has been unlocked. Very nice. Colonization unlocked. Looks like we get a lot of technologies without even having to research them. I don't know if it's from exposure from other paddle steamer. I don't know if it's exposure from other nations or how that mechanic necessarily works, but I'm not going to complain about what we're getting, you know? Weekly balance is negative 74. I'm assuming there's just nobody that wants to buy this sulfur and nobody that wants to buy this lead. So it's probably a big mistake to implement them into the economy. I'm wondering if maybe we should add in... Let's hit a quick pause before I forget. 30% of lower strata pops in Tunisia become more radical. Trade unions get refused economic concessions. Or 10 imports per trade level, negative 10 exports. 10% authority. That's fine, because authority is not really a concern. And if that can maybe help out our cops that are in dire need, I'm okay with it. It's the exact same event, so I guess we do the same thing. Negative 5% manufacturing industry's throughput, that's okay. Because it's not like we're throughputting anything anyways. We're absolutely struggling at these factories. We're just an agrarian society, man. We just grow the things that we don't know how to produce. But hopefully we can fix all this up. We're still making loads of money. I don't know how we would utilize that money to benefit us in a better way. The clippers are not coming in. Are we not importing them? One Tunisian route, we are importing some supposedly, But I think they're getting imported into the Ottoman market. I don't know how we would create our own independent market away from the Ottoman. But our people are not very happy with our rule. We've got an insane amount of radicals compared to our loyalists. But I think I'm just playing the game terribly. I don't even know what I'm doing wrong here. I built the factory. It has the things produced within the country. I don't understand how it's not making profit selling these things. Maybe we could do an export route somewhere else that's more profitable. I'm assuming the ones that are grayed out here, one of them is going to be Sicily, right? Because maybe it's not ridiculous to send it to, like, Sweden. But it does feel pretty ridiculous. I would like to keep my trade within the mid, if I can. But things are just not going very well for us. We're not producing the food we need. We're producing the cotton we need, and but we're not producing the textiles we would like to produce. But as long as we're still making money, I suppose it doesn't really matter too much. The only worry is oh, this also produces fabric, huh? I didn't realize that. So we're actually producing a lot of fabric. I mean, it should be extremely cheap, you would think, for the textile mill. Yeah, it would be nice to get out of this Ottoman market. Also, wow, our GDP has plummeted. We almost got up to 1 million, I believe. I didn't even realize that. But these factories just aren't working. They don't want to do the things that they ought to do. Maybe it's because we're exporting manually and we should be doing it automatically. Let's see about that. Let's take the clothes and let's get rid of that. I don't think we'll need the clippers anymore because we are not exporting. The only thing I think we need is the tools maybe coming in. Let's see if this can maybe fix up the factory, or maybe the factory is going to get a lot worse because of it. That's the trade center. The factory does seem to be struggling a bit more because of it. But I could also just be making assumptions without letting the time go by maybe a little bit more. We want this factory to be at its full capacity of 10,000 workers. But it's just unable to sustain it. The food industry is actually doing okay. And maybe we should add sweeteners to the food because we are producing in here sugar. The problem is we're actually producing nothing because of the Great Hunger. Wait for the famine to expire. I wonder how long it takes the famine to expire. Seems like a very simple fix to the famine. Just grow more food, you guys. Are you saying it's too hot in the desert? Don't worry about it. Water the plants with seawater. I'm sure that'll help. Oh, now this is at 10K. So I think us manually sending clothes elsewhere was our mistake. These guys are doing pretty good still as well. Famine is still absolutely destroying our wheat fields, though. A small conspiracy. Let's hit it with a quick pause. Slaves die more. And they become more radical. I don't think I mind that too much. I would like to abolish slavery as soon as possible. Nihilist movement permanently. Who's this guy? Politician. Or this is heresy. So I guess I could have him with less popularity. Or more popularity, but it doesn't really change anything other than that. I'm not gonna lie, this game has got my brain scrambled. I'm very confused on what exactly is the best approach to anything. Obviously, I'm playing a very small nation that's going to have its problems come with it, but well, now these guys are making a good amount. They're paying 49. These guys are paying 25 in taxes. Very slim pickings in taxes, especially if you have to build the buildings yourself. I find it interesting that they didn't maintain the system of Victoria 2 where the buildings kind of built themselves. Obviously, giving more control to the players much more fun. I'm not going to disagree with their design choice there. Urban center. Gas streetlights. Services. Consumes more coal. Definitely don't have coal to be spending. I think maybe we should even go speed 4. Just so we can wrap our head around what we're doing a little bit better. And how are we doing on labor movement? I'm thinking maybe we move off labor movement. I would like to get that sulfur production up. Like, how long is labor movement going to take? 6 years versus this is going to take 35 months. Let's do that. So that we can actually start utilizing our sulfur and lead that we're producing, because we're kind of producing it for no reason. There's like nobody even employed here. We spent the money to make it for no gain. I think we'll maybe add a fishing wharf, because fish is food, I assume, for the population. Make food maybe a little bit cheaper. We're back almost up to 1 million in GDP. Has our famine ended? Paranoid slave owners is up, but we do not have the famine, it looks like. That's probably what's helping us out a good deal. Let's take a look at this wheat production. Let's see. Yeah, it's producing an okay amount of wheat. I wonder if maybe we should get off of citrus orchards and go to maintain single crop. No fruit, but we could always build the sugar in order to replace the need for sugar here when we go to sweeteners. So maybe let's do that. We'll do a sugar plantation and then we'll switch that off. And so we'll eliminate the fruit being produced, but fish should maybe compensate for that in the overall market of diversity of food. That's the hope, at least. I don't know if that's exactly how the game mechanics are going to allow it to play out, but what I do know is that we're at 30 minutes here for the first episode. I do apologize if it is amateur hour, but what are you gonna do? Game came out today, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.